Hello and welcome to Captain's Dry Dock, and in the dry dock today we are making a storage box for electronic resistors based on the theme of the bad guys from Star Trek The Next Generation. You guessed it, the Borg. I'm building this in Fusion 360, which is currently free to hobbyists, but there's plenty more free to use 3D packages out there, such as Blender and SketchUp, of which some are easier more than others to learn. This simple box is made specifically to house 50 by 70mm resealable bags that can hold my entire resistor range. For this design, I was going for the monolith look that made the box look like a mysterious object which fits in well with that alien theme. Then I added Borg design elements such as using black filament to make up the box, adding the logo and using green and red accent colours. I wanted the opening and closing of the box to be an experience with tight tolerances where the lid slides down slowly on its own when let go, so I allowed for a 0.5mm gap. This locates perfectly around the extruded logo on both sides, where they also act as a place where you can hold on to as you pull the lid away from the box. So, what do you think about this box? Do you like it? If you do like it and you want one for yourself, well, you can. All you need to do is scroll down to the description of the video below, and I've given you a link to the STL file. So that's the file you can use for 3D print. Now, if you don't have a 3D printer, and most people don't, there are plenty of outlets out there where you can just send it to them and they'll print it for you. I done it in black filament, and you can print it in any other filament color if you want to, or if you've got a friend down the road who's got a 3D printer, give them a nudge, give them a pint and just say, print that for me. It may take overnight, but it's well worth it. Word of warning, this takes ages to print, so best send it to print before you go to bed. See, I didn't do that, as seeing the Borg logo slowly appear really looks like something from science fiction. And being new to 3D printing, I'm still amazed at watching this do its thing. I printed the main design separately, but as I'm new to this dark art of 3D printing, I came back to an absolute mess. This was due to not using something what they call the raft setting. This makes sure smaller objects with a small base area stay stuck on the print bed by laying down more material around it. After learning from my mistake, the design came out great, and it just needed to be peeled away from the raft. To glue the PLA filament, I'm using dichloromethane. This stuff is incredible as it welds the materials in seconds and leaves little to no residue. I recommend this also for plastic card as well. Before gluing, I use thin masking tape to align the pieces, and with a light touch of the dichloromethane with a brush, it instantly welded down. For the colour accents, I used Games Workshop paint. So it's red for the Borg logo on both sides, finished with some gloss varnish. For the lid design, I tried experimenting with their new super bright green that gives the illusion of a glowing effect. But afterwards, I felt that it benefited from some of my old Warhammer paint blending techniques, which really made it pop. Being an interesting looking box, I wanted the inside to also reflect the Borg theme. So I thought, just like the Borg cube from Star Trek The Next Generation, my box should be full of Borg drones, each one with its own designation, in this case, resistor values. If you really like the labels that I made, which go into the envelopes with the little resistors, I've included that as well. So there's a link down below with the actual STL file, and that's a PDF, and you can print that out off yourself on your home printer. And there you go, you got yourself some really nice themed envelopes with all those resistors in there. Now, I've also got ideas for Mark II, so one day I might come back to this project and make it even more Borgified. Well, as if that's possible. Well, it is, because they always improve, and I've got plenty of ideas for this design. So I'm really pleased how this turned out, and I'm using it now. So remember, resistance is futile. Well, unless you calculated the correct value resistor to use, then it's not futile.